Hey everyone, it's Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. We have finally seen a conclusion for the Borja Sainz saga. Porto, the destination for Mr. Sainz, in a deal worth close to £14.5 million. Look, I'm kind of glad that this one is wrapped up sooner rather than later. I think the risk when you're looking at player sales and when there's a sale pretty obvious, you don't want that to continue to rumble on potentially towards the start of a new season. We saw it with Johnny Rowe, we saw it with Adam Eder last season. It can create real turbulence around the place. And you don't want the turbulence of that, and you also want to be able to find your replacement for these players. And that takes time. You don't want to rush into that. And I think a lot of the start of last season, and actually the season in general, was kind of thrown off kilter slightly from leaving a lot of business late, and key business really late. And I think there would have been lessons learned from that. And there are certain benefits of leaving deals late. You can extract more value, etc. But with Borja Sainz, you just wanted it to be done. You wanted it to be wrapped up quickly for a good amount of money and go, you know what? We've picked up a player here on a free transfer. We've had a brilliant couple of seasons out of him. And now it's the right time to kind of move things along. So Borja gets his move to Porto, £14.25 million. That's including add-ons, and Norwich then also hold a sell-on fee as well, a sell-on clause in that. Borja Sainz played, let's take a look, he played 82 games for Norwich City, of course joined on a free transfer, and scored 27 goals. Now, I think most memorably for Norwich City fans will remember that 2-3 month period during last season where he was utterly unstoppable. Just curling balls into the top corner from here, there and everywhere. It was a real joy to watch, and it was a period in the season where anything felt possible. We were playing Hofball, we were beating teams, we were scoring goals at fun. There was a real chunk of that season that was brilliant, and a lot of that was down to Borja Sainz. He was an exceptionally talented footballer. He had his weaknesses, he had his flaws. We saw that last season as well with, a slight lack of discipline. I think he was somewhat petulant at times on the pitch, but that sensitivity and that anger also helped him. He was a character. He didn't leave anything. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and with that comes danger, and with that comes real joy as well. I loved watching Borja Sainz play football for Norwich City, and he will undoubtedly be a miss. There's no doubt about that. I don't like this narrative that, it's good that Borja's out the door and he was a trouble to the group. I just don't see that. Yes, he had his problems, but we must remember here, he was a free transfer, and he was for 95% of the championship season, and right up until Joel Perot overtook him, the championship's top scorer, and he missed at least 10 games last season. He was unplayable. He was unstoppable. He was a championship team of the season contender, or he got in it. He was really one of the elites in that division. And to lose one of your best players, to lose one of the championship's best players, is obviously going to be a miss. That can't be understated. But, and here's the but, £14.5 million, let's call it, for a player with 1 year left on their deal. That's the key thing here. It's not like Sargent, where you've got 3 years left on their deal in order to try and extract maximum value. We are very much in the driving seat with that Josh Sargent negotiation. With Borja Sainz, it was different. He was entering the last year of his contract. There was a genuine world where if he wasn't sold this summer, we could get to January, and then he can start entering discussions with foreign clubs. And there is then a world where you release your best player for a free transfer. And that's fine if you're Man City or Liverpool and there's just an endless pot of cash. You can't do that as Norwich City. We are a player trading club. We depend on that income in order to sign the likes of Matthias Kvistgaarden and Jakov Medic, and I'm sure there'll be some other really exciting signings this summer. That income is vital. That's a big amount of money to pick up for a championship player. And actually, I think when you're selling a talent, sometimes it pops into your head and you go, I don't think we got enough. I got that nagging sense with Gabby Sarah a little bit. I got that a little bit with like James Maddison back in the day and Emi Buendia. But actually, when you zoom out and you look at it, I think this is a pretty fair deal. We've ultimately sold a player, I keep banging on, who we signed on a free, that has had 3 exceptional months in the second tier of English football. But beyond that was okay. He was good, but he wasn't like standout. Has never played in the Premier League. Before joining Norwich City, he played in Spain and out in Turkey, and had been pretty mixed up until that point. So it was only really last season where he properly broke onto the scene. And to generate that amount of cash is great. I think this is a good move for Borja. He moves to a European giant, a well-supported club, European football. I think he'll do well there. I think a continental style of football will really suit him. And it, as I said at the start of the video, also allows us to reinvest, which I think we've kind of already done. I think Fisgarden is basically a like-for-like replacement for Borja Sainz. I think there will be more interest in the market. I know that we've been linked with Papa Diallo, which will be interesting to see how that one develops, and we'll have more coverage on that on TNC. But it does feel like one of those where Borja leaves with my best wishes. I had huge amounts of joy from watching him play football over the past couple of seasons. And Norwich win as well. They've generated 100% profit on him, £14.5 million. I think if they had their time again, they might have handled him slightly different and handled the situation around some of his discipline situations slightly differently. But that's with hindsight. When players are coming to Norwich City, you have to realise that it's not going to be perfect. If they were perfect players, they wouldn't be coming to Norwich City. They would be going to Liverpool and Barcelona and Real Madrid. We are a championship club at this stage, and we will be attracting players with huge amounts of potential that might be in their prime, but might not quite fulfil all of those tick boxes. Borja ticked a lot of the boxes. He was exciting, he was talented, he was hardworking. I think he understood what it meant to be at Norwich. I think he connected with fans well. And actually just got to a stage where a move made sense for both parties. So Porto, the destination for Borja, £14.25 million the fee. And Norwich City now getting that business done early enough. We've already made quite a lot of signings and there's going to be more to come. But this just allows us and Liam Manning to evaluate the squad, where we're at, and hopefully really set ourselves well up for not only pre-season, but more importantly, this season ahead. Let me know what you think of Borja. Is it a fair fee? In my mind, yes it is. I think we got a good deal here. Equally, Borja could go out and score 25 goals for Porto next season. I wouldn't put it past him, and maybe double that fee would have been fair. But I think for this moment in time, with the context of where Norwich are at and where Borja's at in his career and where Borja was at with his current contract at Norwich City, this deal makes good sense. Borja, best of luck. Thanks for the memories on the Ball City. Take care.